All right, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM listeners, we are live in full effect right here, right now, with the one, the only Memphis, Tennessee hip hop legend. We got Nasty Nardo right here live on the line. How you doing this evening?
Playboy, what it do? What it do? What it do? Outlaw Radio, what it do? DJ Immortal, what it do, my guy?
I gotta say, first and foremost, Nardo, man, I've been a fan of yours for a long time, man. So thank you for years of amazing music, man. It's an honor to just be able to welcome you on my platform.
Oh, bro, I appreciate that, man. I really appreciate that love, man. Really do, man. Thank you so much.
Hey, man, you are most certainly welcome. But I gotta ask you, Nardo, like taking you back to the beginning, man, like what actually sparked the legendary career of Nasty Nardo?
Ooh, man, that's a good question. To be honest with you, a lot of folks, that know about me, know about my music. I'm not a new jet. I'm not a new jet at all. I've been around for a while. So when I first was really influenced by music, I was struck by, I guess, a lot of artists at that time. See, I grew up in an MTV era. I grew up in an era where the only time you saw rap videos were on, like MTV. I don't even think BET was really a big thing really back then, but the group that sparked me and pushed me and made me want to get out here and do this, believe it or not, was Run DMC. Real talk. First time I saw those cats, man, the Rostos, Adidas, man, those big gold chains, man, the leather jackets, packing the arenas, I was like, yeah, that's what I want to do. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, that's what sparked me, bro.
Hey, man, you can never go wrong with Run DMC, man. Just an amazing trio, man. I still listen to their music like they came out yesterday, man. That track, My Adidas, man, my favorite joint of all time.
Wow, me too, bro. It's amazing the longevity and the staying power that their music has. I let my little cousin and some young cats listen to some of their music the other day, and they were just blown away with the rap style that they had. You know, how they were, going back and forth, sharing the verses and stuff, line for line, exchanging lines. You don't see that anymore. You don't even hear anything like this. So to them, it blew their mind because they had never heard anything like this. And it just goes back to show, I love breaking old records to new cats. Because it's like, it just shows them possibilities of where their originality can go. You don't have to just stay in just one lane, bro. You can really broaden your horizon. So, yeah, that's what I really love about their style of music, that fusion of rock and roll with the hip-hop. Man, untouchable, bro.
I most definitely agree, man. I remember the joint they did with Aerosmith, Walk This Way, man. Like, that collaboration was legendary. I can't think of another group from their generation that really went into that 80s hair band side of things and actually, like, literally took over.
Yeah, I can't either. I don't even really think, now that I think about it now, it went a whole bunch of hip-hop artists that is even really dipped into the rock genre period anyway. You got a few cats, but nobody really, hit it as hard as Run DMC did. Nobody blew up as big as they did off of fusing it together. Yeah, definitely some legends. Yeah, my biggest influence, one of my biggest influences, period.
And also, man, one of my favorite records that you actually dropped in the year of 1998, which is actually by the name of Crunk. I was always wondering, Nardo, what's the story behind that phenomenal album?
Man, that was like, it was my first album as an independent artist where I was like, okay, I'm going to actually get out here and do this. And man, that blows me away that you even remember that album, because that was before they were even calling me Nasty Nardo on the front of our album. It was just Nardo, you know what I'm saying? But yeah, that album, how it came about, man, to be honest with you, I was just tired of listening to my peers here in the city, because back then, during that time, Memphis had a really, really big local scene. You had cats like DJ Paul and Juicy J, before they were 3-6 Mafia. You know what I'm saying? Before they even formed the band, and they were doing the independent mixtapes on the city. You know, Juicy J was in North Memphis, and DJ Paul was here in Whitehaven doing his thing. They were, you know, and it was just different. I had so many different peers here in the city that were blowing up and bubbling and making music, and I was like, man, I'm just as good as these cats, and I just wanted to be heard, to be real with you. I was looking up to so many of these cats, man. It just pushed me to, well, okay, I gotta at least try to show what type of talent I had. And at that time, a bunch of people weren't looking for artists out of the South to sign. You know, we were having to scrape together, you know, dollars, you know, from wherever we could do, basically just to put a damn demo tape together. But yeah, that was a time where I just had so many Memphis local influences that I just had to put that record out. And luckily, bro, I pulled it out. People liked it. It got me my first record deal. And yeah, that was the platform. That was the springboard. Yeah.
And I gotta say as well, man, one of my favorite joints on that record is actually Get It Crunk. I remember that song was like, I think it was like 7 or 8 minutes long, man, but I loved it.
Yeah. Oh man, that is my favorite song on the album too. And it wound up being the title track because Crunk was a genre of hip hop that was really bubbling, and we were really starting it back then during that time. But the ironic part about that track, it didn't sound like a Crunk record because we had the girl singing on it, and it was like really smooth and laid back. And God rest his soul right now. That record was produced by Drummer Boy's brother, Insane Wayne. You know, we lost him a year or so ago to gun violence, and you know, he was a major influence, and I think he produced like 10 or 12 tracks on that album, but he was the driving force behind that record. He produced it, and he also told us he probably a good female to sing on it. And man, one of my guys, he's one of these church going guys, you know what I'm saying? He was a deacon at the church. He knew this chick in the choir, man. He brought her to the studio, man. Boom, she did it, took it in one take, man. The rest was history. Yeah.
And I gotta ask as well one last question pertaining to that record. Like, do you think, like, since it's like such a fairly old record, do you think you might kind of re-bring the record out onto like vinyl and whatnot? Because I do know a lot of individuals are doing that with their older records, like reissuing it on vinyl.
Yeah, that's definitely been something I was looking into because, you know, back in the day, that was the only way really to get a record broken in the club. You know, prior to CDs, you know, they didn't even want to play a cassette tape. You had to walk into a club, you know, to get a record on with a DJ, man, you had to have some vinyl, a 12-inch or something. You know, so yeah, and it's interesting how that's coming back. I don't understand the phenomenon of it, but yeah, they want vinyl now. So yeah, it's definitely something that I thought about, and it's probably going to be something that will be happening. To redistribute that album, a lot of my old material back on vinyl. Yeah, definitely.
And also as well, there, Nardo, you were actually a part of the group Mob Life. I was wondering, what's the story behind the group's formation? And of course, how did yourself and Duke actually meet?
Man, me and Duke Smitty, we met. Wow, man, this is crazy. Gangsta Black, you know, he's a Memphis artist. I'm pretty sure you've heard of him if you haven't. Gangsta Black and I both grew up in South Memphis. Actually, his older brother, Cool B, and I graduated from school together. So at the time, Gangsta Black was working on his album, and I was, you know, bouncing around. I was working on my album at the time, and I was trying to find, you know, some new producers for a new sound. And he was like, "You need to check my guy, you know, Duke Smitty out." And I'm like, "Who is that?" You know what I'm saying? It's like, it's a cat out of Whitehaven. Hooked up with him, time, he was working for this production company called Goodfellow Records. I went through there, checked out a couple of tracks, bought like 2 or 3 of them, came back the next day, knocked them out, and it was like instant magic when we first went to the studio together. We just hit it off immediately. I mean, and I'm not just talking about the music. I mean, just on a personal level, we had so much in common. We just immediately hit it off. So we became more, friends than business. As far as the business and the working relationship was concerned, that was strong. But we became really, really close friends. And from that, we just started, making music together. And one day we were just sitting around talking. I'm like, bro, we got so many tracks together. And you featured on so many songs. Like, why don't we just do an album together? He was like, cool, I'm with it. You know what I'm saying? We went in the studio 2 weeks later, Bob like stuff. Knocked that album out in like 14 days. So that was cool. And something interesting too, a lot of people may not know. Duke had a son that was in the studio with us every single time I recorded. To me, he's like a godson now. But can you guess who his son is? Hello?
Oh, sorry about that. I was just listening. My apologies. I was just so into the story, but I gotta say though, man, like when you guys dropped when you guys dropped the Crime Wave, man, that album was absolutely phenomenal. I believe that was like 2000, 2001 criteria.
Yeah, that was around 2001. It was right around that circle. Yeah, that was a phenomenal album. But again, his son now is blowing up. The Duke Deuce is Duke Nitty's son.
I actually did not know that.
Yes. That kid was in the studio with me, man, for I know the good part of 2 or 3 albums. So yeah, he comes from a real good line, good stock. Yeah, that guy right there, Duke Nitty, phenomenal producer, phenomenal artist, but more importantly, he's a really phenomenal rapper. Love him to death, man. But yeah, My Life Crime Wave, he was very, very instrumental in everything about that project. Funny thing is, though, he didn't want to do the damn album cover. He did not want to put that jersey on. That was funny. He didn't want to do that. He didn't want to put the jersey on because do you remember the album cover was like red?
I remember that, yeah.
The jerseys were red, my hat was red, the background was red. And, at the time, I was just doing it because I had everything color coordinated. I was going to market everything. And there was a street element to that I just totally overlooked. You know what I'm saying? There was a street element that I had totally overlooked in the marketing aspect of it. And he was from a different, side of the track, so to speak, and, he just didn't want to wear it, but he's good now, everything's good, solid guy, though, solid guy.
Well, after the record blew up, he probably looked at the cover and was like, you know what, the jersey doesn't look that bad after all.
Nah, it doesn't look that bad. He looks back at it now, we laugh about it, we get a couple of cool laughs about it, but yeah, it turned out pretty good.
I gotta say it did as well. I believe the cover, I think it's like the U.S. Capitol that's blowing up and whatnot. Did you guys actually, because I know back then, sometimes some people, not as bad as today though with the internet, but with that album cover, did you guys ever receive any like hatred due to like the content and the direction of that album cover?
I didn't get anything from the FBI. I didn't get one of those records, but yeah, I did have some issues with distribution because some people felt like it was a little politically incorrect to put on an album at that time. So yeah, we got a little flack for that, but not much. You know what I'm saying? Not much. One cool thing about being in the United States, we got freedom of speech and we got laws to protect our freedom of speech. So. A lot they couldn't do. Yeah,
Exactly, man. You know what I mean? It is what it is. And after all, it's hip hop. You know what I mean? That's what individuals like yourselves do, man. You know, you guys express how you're feeling, man. And if you guys want to blow up the Capitol on your album cover, fuck it, blow up the Capitol. It is what it is.
Yeah, exactly. And boom, that bitch went. Yeah, we do that bitch up. He's making up all kind of pieces. Like, wow.
And also, Nardo, as well, you were actually in the studio with the late great director and producer John Singleton, working on a track for the movie Hustle and Flow. I was wondering if you can tell our listeners a bit more about that experience, and of course, what was it like to work with the legendary John Singleton?
Man, first of all, man, rest in heaven, John. Bro, man, man, heaven's got a good one, bro. Heaven's got a good one. We know where you guys at. But back to how this whole thing came about with the movie. Actually, the record, Let's Get It Wrong, the record you're referring to, that wound up on the soundtrack. I recorded that record prior to even meeting John or even knowing about the movie. I recorded the original version of that song has a feature on it. It has Gangsta Boo from 3 6 Mafia. She's on that record on the original version of it. And we had recorded that, and it was a local band, you know, at the time, and it started bubbling. And there's a DJ here in town called Seven the Great. Seven was like the house DJ at the strip club called Pure Passion at the time. He also was, you know, kind of one of these cats that, you know, he wasn't just doing DJing, he was also, you know, an aspiring actor. And he knew this local cat here that was doing movies, and he had an independent film he was working on. At the time, the film he was working on was called Poor and the Hungry. And the director, Craig Brewer, was the director. One day, Seven is at the strip club DJing during the lunch hour. And he calls me and says, "Man, you need to get down here to the club. It's a cat down here that's shooting a movie I want you to meet." At first, you know, I'm like, I see and hear stuff all the time about, you know, opportunities that come up in music and in the business period. So, you know, I just didn't really take it seriously. But, you know, I came down as a favor, and I just came down just to meet the cat. So when I met him, you know, he told me, "Hey, bro, I'm working on this new movie. I'm talking to John Singleton. He's talking about picking it up, and, you know, we're going to do this, blase, blase, blase." And I'm like, yeah, whatever. But he heard the new record, Let's Give a Room. Seven played it while he was down there because he was looking for scenes to shoot for the movie. I didn't know how far along he was at the time, but he was pretty far along. And again, I wasn't taking it too seriously. He listened to the song. He's like, "I've heard you on the radio on other songs." He said, "Bro," "I can't make any promises, but they told me I got full control over the music part." He said, "Man, if I can get you on this movie soundtrack, I'm gonna give you a call." I'm like, "All right, cool." So I never had a second thought about it. 6 months later, I get a call to come down to the studio that I was working out of. And it's just funny because the guy that I was working with had no knowledge of me meeting Craig Brewer at the strip club or nothing. He got hired as a damn, what do you call it, technical advisor. His name is Hollywood JP. He produced a lot of my records too. Hollywood JP was hired on as a technical advisor for the movie. And he told me I needed to get down there to the studio because he got somebody he wants me to meet and shoot the movie. Again, this is 6 months later. I didn't even think he was talking about the same dude. I get down there to the studio. There's Craig, and I'm like, "Hey, Craig, how you doing?" I'm like, I was shocked to see him because this is the same cat I just met at the strip club 6 months earlier. But I looked to my right, and it's fucking John Singleton sitting in our studio lobby. And I'm like, "That's John Singleton." You know what I'm saying? He blew me away right here. "Yeah, man, I told you to get down there." And John was like, he introduced himself. He's like, "Bro," he said, "Man, I've been listening to this record for about 2 or 3 months. I would love to have this record on the movie soundtrack." And bro, I bullshit you not. I almost broke down in tears, man. I was so shocked because I thought all of this stuff was just, the same thing. It was just, but I got so used to being let down by so many different people telling me they had this going on and that going on, and it never really came to fruition. But this was something that was actually real. And I'm actually standing here talking to one of the most, famous movie producers that ever lived. And it just blew me away, man. But it was a testament to God. It was a testament to my faith, and it was a testament to the hard work that I put in, bro. And that was how the record came about. And the funny thing, like I said earlier, Gangsta Boo was supposed to be on that record when it got to the movie, but she was going through some stuff with her label at the time with 36 Mafia, and it was some legal stuff, so John made me pull her off the record, and that's why it's just me on there right now. But if you can ever dig up the original, I think they got a version on YouTube floating around with me and Gangsta Boo on it, but yeah, he selected the record. I had nothing to do with other than just showing up at the club that day, bro. And he liked and loved the record and picked it, and boom, the rest is history. Man, he changed my life. He really changed the trajectory of my career and movie. So I'm gonna always be grateful for him, man. I'm gonna always, man, love him for that. So, again, rest in heaven, John. Thank you so much, bro.
And I gotta say, rest in paradise to him, man. Such a legendary individual, man. Like, one of my favorite movies by him is Boys in the Hood, man. You know what I mean? It's still to this day and always will be a masterpiece.
Man, yes, sir. The first and only movie really that made me cry. Man, when Ricky got shot, I cried. I'm not gonna lie, bro. When Ricky got shot, I cried.
I think we all did, man. I think we all did. Because at the end of the day, it sounds bad. You knew the vibe of the movie. You knew it was gonna happen when you got to that scene. But you're still like, nah, man, it's Ricky. Like, you know what I mean? It's Ricky. He's gonna be that one guy to make it out the hood. And then it's like, fuck. Damn it. Why am I crying right now? I knew this was gonna happen.
Yeah, man, because so many people empathize with that movie because I think it was happening everywhere. It wasn't just happening in L.A. People in the hood been dying, from gun violence for years, bro. And to actually see it on the screen for the first time, and to actually feel it and see it that vividly and that graphically, yeah, it touched a lot of folks, bro, because I've been through it. I mean, like I said, I know everybody's got a story. Somebody got somebody in their family that's going through it, bro. And man, yeah, it's just amazing how he captured that emotion, that feeling, and he was able to project it and make us feel what he was doing on screen, bro. And I think that's the one thing that made him such a great filmmaker. Period. Is his ability to touch people.
And also jumping ahead through the timeline here, going back to Halloween of 2020, you actually took part in the Memphis versus Volume 3, where you went up actually against Miscellaneous. I was wondering, what was that experience like, man, just being able to do a versus battle? Because with this whole COVID-19 situation, man, like, everyone's doing shows a lot differently now. So was it difficult for you to actually perform without a crowd there?
Well, actually, no, it wasn't difficult because it wasn't like a big crowd, but there were still people there. You know what I'm saying? It had to be like at least 50 to 100 people behind the scene, behind the camera to the side, so I couldn't see. It was more like a club atmosphere, to be real with you. But, it wasn't hard to perform, but first of all, it was an honor to do it. The fact that those guys from Icons Academy thought that much of me and, Miscellaneous, that they wanted us to represent and go out there and showcase our talent, man. First of all, I got to give a shout out to Z-Dog, man. Thank y'all. Thank everybody over there at Icons Academy. But, man, as far as the experience, man, it was beautiful, bro. It was beautiful. And the beautiful thing about it is that we hyping it up. You know, we was doing the WWE thing, you know, telling you I'm gonna kill him, I'm gonna body bag you out. You know what I'm saying? And it was cool, and I love that we kept it, you know, like that. This is supposed to be about entertainment, and I see so many of these young artists right now, bro, that's just throwing their life away and trying to be criminals before they're actually artists, and then mixing the whole thing up. It's so fucked up right now. You know what I'm saying? I get so sick of hearing kids talking about killing each other now, man. And don't get me wrong, I'm not shitting on gangster rap, period. This is what I turn up on, but it's like now it's so different. It's like now these kids feel like they actually have to live this shit out. They feel like they actually have to go out and body somebody to be considered, you know, credible in the music. And like, this is crazy. You know what I'm saying? That's not what this shit is supposed to be about. You know, it's supposed to be an outlet, but also it's supposed to still be about entertainment. You know, you shouldn't have to have 100 people with guns with you everywhere you go because of something you said on a record. You dig what I'm saying? It's just crazy right now. It's crazy. So yeah, the versus battle, it kept it within the lines of competition, and also, you know, it gave us a platform to really showcase our talent. Because a lot of people hadn't heard those records. A lot of people that weren't nasty Nardo fans or did not ever exposed to miscellaneous, they got a chance to be exposed to what, you know, we've been doing here in Memphis for years, and, you know, making good Memphis music. So that was a beautiful experience, yeah.
And just touching base actually on that on the versus battle topic, is there anybody else like that you would actually want to, like, you know, do a versus battle with, like, out of Memphis?
Man, if I could, if there's somebody I could choose right now to go against on a versus battle, it would definitely have to be Tila.
That'd be dope. That would be dope. But I in my head I was thinking like yourself alongside Tom Ski Mask, man. I think that would be like, this is just such a close matchup.
Yeah. But you know what? It's interesting you said that. You know, I'm pretty sure he's not gonna mind me telling y'all. We just started working on a new EP, Pretty Boy Independent, that will be dropping here real soon. You know, it will be a combo album featuring myself, Nasty Nardo, and great Tom Ski Mask. Yeah, but I wouldn't mind having Tom. I'm taking on all comers. I'm the people's champ. You know what I'm saying? Whoever, I'm with it.
Just have them line up, you know what I mean? Turn that volume 3 into like volume 20, man. Just have them line up and just keep picking them off.
There you go. Exactly. But again, man, I would really love to do something with Tila, man. I love Tila as an artist, bro. He's one of the most underrated cats out of Memphis, and I think that he really needs to be a versus battle. Not necessarily with me, but just period, just to showcase what he has done and what he has to offer as an artist, bro. Because again, a lot of people don't even talk about Tila when they talk about the great side of Memphis, and I think he's definitely one of the greatest.
And also, December 30th, so not too long ago, at midnight, you actually released the song Throat Goat. And I'm pretty sure, by the name, it's pretty justifiable what that song is about. But I was wondering if you can detect... I'm going to be honest, though, man. That cover art, when I saw the cover art, I was like, yo, like, that is just... That's wild, but you know what, man? It most definitely catches eyes, man. So that's some smart-ass cover art, I'll tell you that. But where can our listeners actually snag themselves a copy of Throat Goat?
Man, it's available on all platforms, man. If you want to go to iTunes, man, Apple Music, anywhere, bro. Deezer, Pandora, whatever platform you use to get your music, I can assure you Throat Goat is there.
But I gotta ask you, man, what sparked the song Throat Goat? You know what I mean? Like we already said, this song's pretty justifiable what it's about, but there obviously has to be a story behind the song Throat Goat?
Actually,
I do want to say for the record as well, Nardo, we're a completely uncensored station, so don't have to worry about holding back.
No, oh yeah. I mean, I'm talking about maybe my personal life, but anyway. That record came about, man. After probably, I want to say maybe one and a half dips tequila and a couple of blunts with this beautiful young lady that I love so much. And she was telling me about her cousin and that she wanted to try something out, and she said that this is called Throat Goat. And I'm like, what is that? And she showed me what that was, and yeah, she's one of these proud throat goats.
And man, you know what, ladies and gentlemen, get yourself Throat Goat available on all streaming media platforms. But if you want the real Throat Goat, you know what I mean, talk to your girl. But get the song today.
Yeah, there you go, man. There you go. Most definitely. Yeah, man. Go, man. Go get it. Go pick it up. It's off of the new album that's about to drop called Ghetto Style 2.0. It is about to be finished. We're putting the finishing touches on it. My next single will be on the lookout for that. It's coming up real soon, but we're also finishing the video for Throat Goat. So as soon as I post it up, man, everybody go check that out as well. But the new album, Ghetto Style 2.0, will be dropping in a matter of months. Probably, I'm shooting for April. April should be done. Again, go out and get it. It will be available to stream on all of the streaming services, any platform that you go get your music digitally. It will be available. Nasty Nardo, Ghetto Style 2.0.
And also, Nardo, so this is the time in the interview that I give a chance for the individual that comes onto the radio station. Just a chance to give shoutouts to whomever they want to give shoutouts to. And of course, your social media handles. That way our listeners can stay updated on everything Nasty Nardo and follow you if they're not already doing so.
Okay, man. First, I want to give a shout out to my team Nasty Nardo, my label and my label team, Ghetto Style Entertainment. I gotta give a shout out to my guy that's running the machine, Trackman over there with Trackman Brother Music, Hollywood JP, again Duke Media, all of my producers, my fans, especially my fans, man, especially Memphis, Tennessee, man, especially to you, DJ Morgan Outlaw Radio, man, for having me on today. Y'all can go check me out, man, on Twitter, Facebook, Real Nasty Nardo. Go check me out, man. I'm always online. I'm always here, man. Anybody needs me, holler at me. If you need a verse, holler at me. I'm easy to find, man. Just hit me up, DM me, man. My price is very reasonable. Very reasonable. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man, I want to thank everybody, man, for checking me out, man. Everybody listening. And, again, man, thank God.
And I gotta say, Nasty Nardo, thank you so much again for just giving us a little bit of your time this evening, you know. I've been a fan of yours for many, many years, man, so thank you for years of amazing hip-hop, and I'm looking forward to many more years of amazing hip-hop as well, because right after we actually end this call, I'm actually going to be jumping into your brand new song, Throat Goat, so the listeners that didn't get the opportunity to check it out, you can check it out here, but make sure, if you like it, make sure you get yourself a copy as well.
Yes, sir, man. And again, man, special thanks to you, man. DJ Moore, 97.7 Outlaw Radio FM, man. Y'all doing y'all thing. What you got going on right here, bro? Man, hip-hop and the culture needs, man. I appreciate you from the bottom of my heart, man.
Hey, man, you are most certainly welcome, and you're always welcome on Outlaw Radio FM as well, man. So, anytime you got some new joints, you need them in the state, and you need some Canadian exposure, send them off to the email, man. You always have a home here on Outlaw Radio.
Absolutely, man. Absolutely, man. Thank you. And again, Playboy.
You already know, Nardo. Thank you so much, man, and have yourself a wonderful night.
Yes, sir, man. Get up with it.